Hey guys, thanks for watching. I recently came up with a new design for automatic wool farming on Minecraft, and I looked around on YouTube but didn't see anything that looked particularly similar, so I thought I'd make my own video and see what people thought about it. This farm is very basic and simple, very easy to make. You could probably do this within your first 10 days on a new Minecraft world, maybe 10 or 15 days. It produces wool at about 800 per hour. I tested it in a survival world for 1 hour and got 814 wool. This also works on, I know it works on PS4 Legacy version as well as Bedrock and Java version as of April 2020. To make this farm, you're going to need what you see in my inventory here: 140 grass blocks, 48 light sources of some sort. I picked jack-o'-lanterns, but sea lanterns or torches or glowstone would work. 44 redstone. Going to need 19 building blocks of some sort. I picked brick, but anything that's, you know, your basic rectangular block and not transparent, so not glass, anything like that would work. You're going to need 12 redstone repeaters, 4 pistons, 7 glass, a hopper, a rail, a redstone torch, a dispenser, a minecart with a hopper, and a chest. And then you're going to need a bunch of shears to fill up your dispenser. If you're worried about wasting iron on making shears to fill this thing up, you can trade the wool you get out of the farm to villagers. Villagers will give you emeralds, and you take the emeralds and trade them back to the villagers, and I believe they'll take 2 emeralds and give you 1 shear. And it still gets you a net emeralds in the end, so you're not wasting emeralds by trading to villagers that way. Another thing obviously you're going to want to do is populate your farm with sheep. This farm here has 32 sheep in it. I think 30 to 40 is a good number, but the exact number really doesn't matter. As long as there's enough sheep that whenever grass gets pushed under them, at least one of them goes to eat it. So it's not like putting 500 sheep in there is going to give you a better farm than having 30 or 40. I would recommend 30 to 40 sheep. I'll show you at the end of the video after I build this thing how to put the sheep in there. It's really simple, but I'll just show it in case anybody needs to know. Alright, I'll get started showing you how to build this. You're going to want to start by marking out your center point of your farm. I laid some sand down here so you can see what I'm doing better, but the sand is not a necessary part of this. On your center point, centered on that point, you want a 15 by 15 square of grass blocks. That's a square 15 by 15 on the outside. It's 3 blocks thick, you can see there, and this is 3 blocks off of your ground height. And these have to be grass blocks. You could do dirt blocks and just make the grass grow up to it by attaching some dirt blocks from your grass on the ground. And this will grow up eventually. If you put more blocks there, it'll grow up quicker. Or if you have silk touch, you can just dig some grass with the silk touch tools and place the grass directly. After this step, you're going to want to take and put a notch in each of these corners. Well, not right in the corner. Inset one from the corner, a 1 by 2 notch in each of the corners, and you're going to want to lay them in a kind of a spiral pattern. You can make it go clockwise or counterclockwise either way, but this is what you want to end up with at the end of this first step. After this is done, we're going to lay our pistons in our notches. You're going to want the pistons facing flat into the notches on all 4 sides. Very simple. Do that. Then directly under your pistons, you're going to put your building block and then 2 off to the side like that. Do that under all 4 pistons. So that's where we're at now. Next we're going to start the redstone. So in the center of your farm, you're going to want a 5 by 5 square of redstone repeaters all facing in a circle with none in the corners. So that's 12 redstone repeaters. And take note, if your pistons are going to be pushing in a clockwise direction, you also want the repeaters to be going in a clockwise direction. If your pistons are counterclockwise, you want the repeaters to be counterclockwise. Connect these all in the corners with redstone, and I forgot we have to set these all to 4 ticks. Then after that, you're going to just hook these all up like so. Alright, so this is what we have going on right now. Next we're going to get out our dispenser and our glass, and you're going to pick whichever side of the farm you want your sheep to be on and line up on that side with your center mark right there and put a dispenser facing into the center of your ring of dirt on the inside edge of the dirt, and then on the block that dispenser faces, make a little too high wall of glass around there. Next we're going to lay down the light sources. You'd want your light sources to be directly above but not touching the center of your ring of grass blocks here. You want it not touching because if it's touching the grass, then your lights will, or your grass will not grow back from dirt. So I'll lay these all down. You want to fill in the corners. I'll do that and show you what it looks like when I'm done. Alright, this is all the light sources placed here. If I go up above, you can see I've filled in the corners and it's all centered on my outer, or my ring of grass blocks. Again, these don't have to be jack-o'-lanterns. They can be torches, but if they're torches you'll need some blocks on the side to support the torches. They can also be glowstone or sea lanterns. Alright, now we're going to put down the collection system. Take on this outer block right next to where the sheep are going to be. On the ground right below that, place your chest. Then take your hopper pointing into the back of the chest, like so, and take your rail and lay it down on top of the hopper, and you want it to be running left to right as you see here. And on the side of that, place 2 of your building blocks. Right on top of the rail, then place your minecart with the hopper, and that's all the collection system is right there. Okay, now we're going to get the dispenser hooked up here. Right under your dispenser, place one of your building blocks and place a redstone torch right on top of that, and then off to the side, hooking it up to this, going to place 1 piece of redstone. So that dispenser will go off every time this corner of the clock gets activated. To get the clock going, you just need to get a pulse going around here. I like to just place and very quickly break a redstone torch. So now the clock's going around there. Okay, one thing I forgot to show you, very important step. If you don't do this, your farm won't work. To go up here in one of these corners, you want to place 1 grass block just in one corner, and that gives it enough grass to start circulating the grass around. If you don't do that, the pistons will just go off and not push anything, and the grass will not get conveyed under the sheep there. Alright, so that is the entire farm built, and now I'll show you how to fill it with sheep. Again, filling it with sheep is very easy. If you know how to do that, I wouldn't worry about watching this part, but just for those of you who don't know, I'll show you how to do that. To populate your sheep, you're going to want to make a little pathway off of the front of this farm, and you're going to want to build a sheep pen over here. Doesn't really matter what size, but you do want to wall off the sides of it so that the sheep can't get out. And I'll build that and show you what I have when I'm done. Alright, so here's what I built. Just a little pen here. The size of it doesn't really matter at all, and a little pathway for the sheep to get into the shearing chamber. You do want to block off the top of the pathway there so that only baby sheep can fit through this hole here. Grab your wheat and lure some sheep in there. Around 8 to 10 will be a good enough number. That'll get your farm populated pretty quickly. Grab your wheat, just feed all the sheep in there, and a little baby sheep will appear, and they will want your wheat very badly. So if you walk over to the outside here, they will follow you, and they really want this wheat, and they're very cute and very hopeful, but they're not going to get the wheat. They're going to get a life of industrialized factory shearing. Look at this guy. He's going to get me so much wool. Okay, so push them all in there. And like I said, 30 or 40 in that chamber there is enough to get your farm working. All you need is enough sheep that they pretty much eat all the grass that gets pushed under them. Alright, so once your baby sheep have grown up, the shearing will start. Baby sheep cannot be sheared in Minecraft, so you have to wait for them to grow up into adults before you start getting wool out of this farm. A couple of notes about this farm's design. The reason it works so much better than other farm designs I've seen, is that the other designs I've seen take all the sheep and leave them over one block of stationary grass. And what you're doing then is basically limiting the amount of wool you get, because sheep will only give you wool when they eat grass. You're limiting the amount of wool you get to the respawn rate of that one block of dirt next to all its grass. What this farm does is takes all this dirt, cycles it past all this grass, gives it all this time to regrow back into grass, and then gives it back to the sheep. And the sheep have access to a lot more grass, so they'll eat a lot more grass and they will make you a lot more wool. Another thing about this farm is the clock pulse. This has a pulse time of 48 ticks in Minecraft. You may think that if you speed the clock up, you cycle the dirt a lot faster and get it back to the sheep faster, and they have access to more grass. But that's not actually the case, for one reason, because the dirt, when it goes around faster, doesn't have as much time to turn back into grass. But more importantly, you are limiting the opportunity that sheep have to grass, because the sheep will only start to eat grass when there is grass underneath them. If your clock pulse is too quick, then the sheep will go to eat the grass, but the grass will get pushed away, and if there's a dirt next in line, then the sheep will try to eat the dirt, and they can't eat any grass off of dirt, so they don't get their wool back. So what you need is that the clock pulse is slower than the time that it takes for the sheep to go through the motion of eating grass. And one last thing is that this farm is basically a very simple square, you know, that the dirt goes along in a path to get back to the sheep. You could take this square and make it some really convoluted pattern, like a snake pattern, and make it as long as you wanted to come back and give as much grass back to the sheep as you can get. I didn't bother doing that. It's definitely possible. I didn't bother doing it because I'm lazy and I didn't want to make a video about something that complicated. So I just made the basic concept here, and if you like this concept and want to make it better, you can definitely do that by taking this path and making it a lot longer, or making it more compact and giving yourself a lot more grass to your sheep, and therefore a lot more wool. That's everything I have. Like I said, this gives you about 800 wool an hour. It's very easy to make early in a new Minecraft world. I like this design a lot, and I didn't see anything else like it, so tell me what you think, and thanks for watching.